So, I've called this YouTube channel Michelle's Healing Journey of CPTSD, which is basically, as far as I'm concerned, PTSD that stems from my childhood and all throughout my shitty life. It has been a really shitty life because it's been marred by abuse from so many different places and people. Just taking the dogs for a walk, and I haven't got my hat, so I've got a stupid big window visor over me. Look, those things you stick in your window just to keep the sun off me. I'm going through a really hard time at the moment. My sister is evil. My sister is, I know that's a strong word, but it really is. She is evil. She's so hateful. She's so ugly. She's been violent to me in so many different ways, physically, emotionally, anyway, just her mouth. And it's just too tiring to even explain the circumstances, but it's so foul. And I tried to get her out of my life and she just won't go. Now she's trying to get to me through Mum. And Mum doesn't want her in her life either, but Mum has got a really basic phone where you can't block people. And Mum, foolishly or not, when it's her daughters, sent them a kiss the other day. I said, don't make any contact with them. And it started it all again. Every day my sister's sending messages to Mum. So somehow I've got to, and they're about me. So somehow I've got to find the strength to go and get a restraining order on this cow. On this effing bitch. This disgusting, foul-mouthed, foul-minded, foul-actioned thing of a woman who's 70 next year, can you believe? And she's still carrying on like this. I wish I had the energy to go into the details, but I just can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. But it's the most horrible feeling. It really is. Because you literally feel like you're being physically assaulted. It's no different. And you're being called names, and it's beyond me to even explain. It's so demonic. It's so demonic. Her words, her twistedness. Wish I could talk to someone. Wish I had someone to just comfort me, understand the effect, how horrible this is. These little puppy dogs. Anyone else out there go through sibling abuse so bad that it wasn't just sibling abuse, it was my whole family. I've got my mum now, and I've had to forgive her for a lot. And she's been a wonderful woman in many ways as well, would you believe? It's very weird. My dad was so screwed up. He used to belt me, try and choke me, tell me he hated me, call me names. My mum tried to defend me, but it made it worse because then she went to work and I was left alone with him, and he could get me. But I don't hate my dad because he's dead. I did. I hated him for a long time when I was a kid. I used to pray that he would die. I know that sounds horrible, but when I was little, I used to think, we should just die. Because that's how much I wanted to leave. Or leave us alone. And I didn't understand what he was going through. He was a World War II veteran. But it wasn't my place to understand him. I was the kid. They should have got help. But in those days they didn't know how to get help, and what help was there? They were offering him electric shock therapy, that was it. As I said, this massive breakdown, and he went from being a gentleman, tall, big, muscly man, to being a tall, big, aggressive, horrible beast. And my sister's gone the same way. Another sister died of alcohol abuse. And then there's the golden child. And she's just a nasty piece of work. And I've always felt like I'm the only one that truly cares about people. Truly cares and loves everybody, or wants to. But I get pushed. I get pushed to my limit, and the amount of abuse I've got from these women. I've had this thing that keeps attacking me through my mum by text. She's thrown me on the ground. Not that I'm weak, I could have got her back, but I was scared to touch her. I thought I'd break her neck. So I kept looking at her skinny little neck thinking I could snap it. So I knew not to retaliate, not to defend myself, because you know when you're that angry you're too strong. I was too cold in my reaction. I wasn't outwardly angry. I was very quiet and I frightened myself. She threw me on the ground and had her hands around my neck, trying to choke me, and then she spat in my face. And this thing, I call her a thing, was at Bible college when she did this. How long do these people get away with being how they are? They're disgusting. And then another time on Christmas Day, I walked in and I said to her kids, what did you get for Christmas? And they said, water bombs, you know, like not bombs, I like those big pistols, the pump ones. And I said, give us a look. And I picked it up and I just went, little squirt on my niece. She was about 16, I suppose. And she was taking drugs at the time. And so was her brother. And she saturated me. She said, you bitch, and she saturated me completely. And then she ran off to her thing, the mother, yelling and screaming what I did to her. And literally I just went, little tiny squirt. And the thing came out stomping, full arm, across my head, whacked across the ear and the cheek bone, and said, get out. And I was just so shocked. Because I was doing a lifeline telephone counselling course at the time, so I was very mindful of reactions, of thinking through before I reacted, you know. And I think I was just in such shock, and I said, no. So she got her other arm and she whacked me across the other side of my head. Get out, she said. Christmas Day. And I said, no, Deb, I won't do that to Mum and Dad. Because here I was caretaking everyone else, thinking about them. My mum was behind me and she saw the whole thing. She whacked me one more time. I said, now I leave. And my mum followed me out the door going, don't ruin Christmas Day, Michelle. No defence for me. Just don't ruin Christmas Day, Michelle. I walked the streets sobbing my heart out, just totally sobbing and crushed. And I came back and everyone was saying, as though nothing happened, but that I'd made trouble. My children were there and they'd been told, because they didn't see it, only Mum saw it. And they'd been told the thing and I had had an argument. But that wasn't the case at all. I hadn't done anything. So the thing has never been sorry for what it did to me. And it keeps telling me I have an unforgiveness problem. I said, you've got a repentance problem. So I've allowed her back into my life a few times to extend an olive branch. To think, well, you know, the Bible says forgive. An idiot. But also, no, I wasn't an idiot, but Mum was all the time going, oh, Michelle, let it go. We've all got to love each other. We've all just got to forgive and love. I said, good luck to you, you can do that. Who said I don't forgive? It's bloody hard when someone's been such an asshole and continuing to be. But yeah, I let her into my life, and not only did I let her into my life, I prayed with her. I loved on her, helped her. I went the extra mile. I say silly me, and I don't like putting myself down, but it was silly. Why would I do a thing like that after all she'd done to me? My counsellor was agreeing with it. Why would she agree with that? Anyway, she saw it for herself because the thing became, that she became the thing's counsellor as well. And the thing decided she'd had enough because the counsellor, who knows, but she walked away. Not the counsellor, the thing did. So the counsellor got to see for herself. She got to watch the pattern. Because people, when they see such serious abuse, they wonder, well, what's two sides to it? So they got to see it for themselves, unfortunately, and you pay the price. Because you're not believed just from saying, because it's so extreme. And you think, well, they must have done something. There must be two sides. There's always two sides. No. There is not always two sides. There is not always two sides. And this is what I'm trying to tell myself, because even I've gone down that road and I'm learning. I have to stop doing that, because I will always try and look at what I must be doing. What am I doing, Lord? Please show me. Help me to see. No. If you can't look after yourself, if you can't vouch for yourself, no one else is going to. If you can't believe your story, if you can't believe, even if it's your version, you don't have to scrutinise yourself. You don't have to look. We need to be in defence of ourselves. And this is something I've not done. I've too often taken the side of my enemies, taken the side of them, because I thought, I must have done something. Sometimes people are just evil, and it's really hard to believe that. You know, especially when you feel broken-hearted because these are your family. No, they don't deserve me to have a broken heart. They're evil, especially the thing. So the most recent time, she attacked me when I took Mum to the solicitor. She accused me, stood there. She physically attacked me. She called me a demon. She told me I was there to change Mum's will. And I hadn't even wanted to take Mum to the solicitor, but Mum had asked me early in the week, can you take me to the solicitor? I said, can't you get a taxi? She said, oh, I'd like one of my family to be there to support me. I said, okay. There was nothing I could do anyway. I had no power of attorney. I can't coerce Mum to do anything with her will, and there was no desire to do so. And Mum has always been just so fair, even though they deserve nothing worth by their actions. But she's always been unconditional love, fair, always tried to show her children she will continue to love them no matter what. And so I got attacked for going to take Mum to the solicitor because I wanted to change her will. Well, Mum was annoyed because she said, who do they think they are? Do they think I'm that stupid that I can't make my own decisions? And that, do they think I've lost the plot? Because then they started saying I was coercively controlling her because she had dementia. Well, which triggered five separate tests on Mum for her cognitive ability, and she passed them each time. But each time they would report me, there would be another one, and then I was investigated with no legal or evidence in any to point towards it, but they just had a duty of care to follow it up. But this woman, this social worker, I knew they'd got to her, because most people, when they hear, oh, but she's mentally ill, that's what they say. They go, oh, we've had to put up with her mental illness all these years. They go, we know these type here, especially social workers a lot of the time, because they can be so, the mental health care workers, they can be the worst of the lot as far as treating people that they're supposed to be dealing with no respect, and marginalising them, putting them down. And like, I lived with a girl who was a psych nurse, and she said this, all you have to do to not have mental illness, basically 5 things, simplifying it all. So they're often they have the most lack of compassion because they're not trained properly. And it's a well-known fact, a lot of these workers, they see people all the time, they see how they act. I get it. But that's their job. But they must see some pretty rough things, and maybe get some pretty rough treatment that they have to take. But hey, I'm nothing like that. I'm not that type of person. I just have predisposition to terrible depression and stress, and basically when I'm abused I feel like I'm dying on the inside, and it affects me physically, and I've gone through it for so long. It's affected my adrenals, it's like an adrenal fatigue. And like, I'm 63 now, and I don't think I've had any longer than 3 years in my life. One time I had 3 years, which was wonderful. I don't think I've had any longer than 3 years where I wasn't being abused, and I could begin to heal. I moved to the country and it was so beautiful. The rest of the time has been one horrific, it's like they've been waiting in line, So I've got to close the doors, because I've realised the doors have been opened all along, because sometimes if that's your normal, if you came from that, it often goes back to the family of origin. And when you deal with them, when you cut off from them, when you decide enough from them, and you begin to heal, you begin to, but they are just keeping on wanting to engage. And I have not answered them. I have not answered one abusive text, accusation, nothing. I have refused to, and they can't stand it. But they'll just keep going. They think it's okay, they can just keep going. My mum sent a letter from her solicitor to my sister, this one that's harassing her, saying, do not contact your mother except through the solicitor. Well, she doesn't care. She just keeps doing it. I was advised to go and get a restraining order, and I was too sick to do so. Plus they stopped for a while, and I thought, yay. Not hearing from them. Yay. let sleeping dogs lie. Don't poke the snake, you know, don't poke the tiger or whatever the thing is that you poke. But now they're doing this again because the other sister has too. I must, excuse me, I must go the legal channel so that I'm protected, so that my body doesn't go through this every day, because the last 2 days of these texts, it's like a train's hit me. It literally, it feels like, so demonic. It just comes and smash, and I don't function. And I've got a garage sale to put on this Saturday, and I'm like, I can barely function. I just sit there and I stare. So I forced myself to walk today, which is good, and I felt to talk on the phone so that I can do it, and just helps me know that maybe someone's listening and is present with what I'm going through, and makes me not feel so alone. I'm not walking this journey alone. It just feels like it. And whether I'm with someone or alone, it's just such a lonely walk. It's because I had so much loneliness in my life of going through this stuff. It was shocking. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. How did I get through it? How did I get through all this? All the beatings, all the bashings, all the emotional abuse, the physical abuse, psychological, mental, emotional, crazy bitches, the level of hate. Oh my God. I said to Mum this morning, I said, I find it so hard to believe people like to live like this. How can they want to live like this? How can they be at peace? Maybe they never experienced what peace is like. I mean, I don't know. I can't fathom it. I can't fathom. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say that my mum and I, we have a funny relationship. But I always want to forgive my parents because they're my parents. Even though they did a lot of bad things. It's just my desire, my value. But I did get to the point where I said, no more. I can't stand her. And that's when she really opened up her heart around the same time to God. For the first time, she was 90. And it's been something very special and very unique. And I never expected her to go that way. I just used to find her so cold and so damaging. And to me, that's the answer for everything. It's whether people are open to God or not. It doesn't have to be, the form of God you imagine, like going to church. I just mean open to love, open to... Look, I'm not going to complicate it. It's just God. We know inside whether we're hard, whether we're open to God. And that's it. I just feel like in these times, end times, it's real sheep and goat stuff. You know? People choosing which side they're on. And you see it online, you see such evil. You see the comments people make and you think, whoa, goaty. You're showing your goatness. I mean, really stark. You know, we can all stuff up and say horrible things and do horrible things and then feel bad about it. But I'm talking to people that just say these things. It's a disgrace. You can tell where their hearts are at. You can tell where their life's at. None of us are perfectly aligned towards perfection, you know. But it's seeking after good, seeking after God, who is good, seeking after righteousness, meaning what's right, seeking after good. How many other ways do I have to put it? Like, it's not complicated. It's real simple. And it's got, in my opinion, it's got nothing to do with church. Very little to do with church. It's to do with the church within, called your heart or your spirit. The Bible calls that your spirit, your soul. How you want to treat your soul and what comes out of it towards other people. How you want to treat the gifts, the many gifts we were given.